syncing my audio with a clap.
I like how you did that in kind of like an old man voice a little bit. I'm syncing my audio.
Well, back in my day, we didn't used to have to sync audio because all we used was tin cans to talk to one another. None of these fancy dancy microphones.
Kitt, you're a scientist. How does the how does the tin can talking work? How does that happen?
Do you really want to know?
Yes, I legitimately have no idea. It's magic to me. There's this could be okay, we'll get into this later, but like this could be a segment on the new podcast, which is old technology that I think is really cool, and I have literally no idea how it works.
Because I literally can tell you how it works right now. It's
yeah,
fascinating. Okay, so how it works is, so you have like a tin can, right?
Right.
And inside the tin can, you can hear a noise from it. So any vibration that goes through the can gets picked up and amplifies inside of your can. So the vibration on the string is actually, whenever you talk, it's the vibrations of your noise, and that's how sound works. It's all vibrations.
Right.
And so whenever you put the tin can in, the vibration's going through the string and being amplified by your tin can.
Oh, it's literally just vibrating. Okay. Well, that, now that you mentioned it, actually, that makes a lot of sense. And so, I'm assuming there's probably a pretty short distance on how far that actually works.
Yeah, it doesn't work for a ridiculously long way. So,
yeah. So you basically just hear them.
Yeah, if you talk loud enough, you would probably hear them.
Yeah, well, this is why we need to have like a studio space so that we can have GoBicker labs, so we can test to see how far can we put
a tin can,
or how far can we talk through a tin can. Yeah,
that would be fun.
But maybe that's never to be because this is a garbage. Oh wait, this is a garbage piece of shit, and I hate it. And I love it, and I just wish it would work, and I wish... Okay, because it's as we always talk about. Hold on. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Hold on.
We need to say hi to everybody.
We need to say hello to everybody. Hello, welcome to the show that definitely is still going and has a purpose. Not really.
But
kinda, because there's different things about this show in its history. Like for a long time, it was just just me complaining. I complaining is an understatement, I suppose, considering I was begging for death. I don't know. That's up for you to decide. Don't ever watch those or listen to those. They're horrible.
Yeah. New Terry's better.
Yeah, Kitt's gone through and lovingly taken out basically the best bits of all those and put them into shorts. That is the only way to consume any of the episodes of this show that before episode 70. This has always been kind of a turbulent show, and it's continuing to be that way. So we're just going. I'm in my head embracing it, and it's kind of like it's like Halley's Comet. It comes around every once in a while, and you go, oh wow. It's a new episode, not really, but kinda. That's fun. And then it goes away, and you don't see it again for another 49 years. Because that's how often we're available. Okay. It's not you and me, it's all the four of us. Chris and Kitt. No, damn it.
I'm Kitt.
You're Kitt, and I'm Terry.
That's
and
me.
This is not really, but kinda.
Not really, but kinda.
But it is not really, but kinda. Not really, but kinda.
But kinda.
Wow, I hate myself, don't I? So
sucks for the guy that has to edit that.
Yeah, exactly. So Chris and Maya, not Kitt. Chris and Maya. Well, no, actually, hold on. Maya is very busy. She's like, as you talked about a couple episodes ago, and the one time we were able to get her in the last 4 months, she's like half-time student, full-time working, I think, and then plus she's always getting into all sorts of drama and shenanigans with all her friends and whatever. It's busy. Chris, on the other hand, I saw on his Snapchat story, is sitting and having a drink in his backyard and deciding that he's better than us and ignoring us. So, I mean, fair enough. Enjoy the summer or whatever. But while we can't rely on them to be consistently available, which, I mean, I'll say fair enough. Like, life happens. We're doing this later than expected because you had a meeting.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's A-okay. I have no issue. We're just going to embrace that, though. Anytime we can get everyone together to do Not Really, but Kinda, we will. But we're not going to try to plan on it. So this episode is kind of like it's like a bon voyage. See you when we come around next time. But except for also at the same time, you and I will be back next month with something different, which we'll try to figure out on this episode of this show.
Something different but the same.
Well, no, I don't know. Will it? If that's that's a good question though. How the same will it be? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think very the same. I've already come up with at least 2 segments.
Ooh. Nice. I think it really depends on what style we decide to end up going for and everything before. Yeah, and if we do segmented based, and it could be fun.
I know how we tend to be. We tend to just kind of yap and ramble. If we have just, I mean, having that little bit of guidance pushing us into a kind of a direction, I think is a good idea. Let's see. So my ideas.
Ooh.
1, kids' movies and such.
Movies and such.
So we could literally, you basically, if you would like, you could just cut together one of those videos and we play it as like a pre-roll, or we could do it as like a live like presentation segment. Either way works for me. I also thought of a similar thing. I was just gonna do just because I'm gonna want to talk about it at some point. Might as well put it in one little bubble. I'll just do a Doctor Who news segment, which isn't necessarily like breaking news. It might just be like, this is a thing I'm interested in. Christ, this is something I'm interested in right now. Like recently, I read the Rose novelization by Russell T Davies, and it was lovely. And now I started reading the Day of the Doctor one by Stephen Moffat, and it's interesting.
Yeah, I've actually been watching Doctor Who from not from the very beginning, but from like the new beginnings.
Oh yeah,
with the 10th Doctor?
9th.
Well, yeah, with the 9th.
Whoa, not really, but kinda.
So, and I've already gotten to David Tennant. We just got to the second Christmas episode.
Oh,
with the Titanic.
Voyage of the Damned. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
One quick second.
Sadder than I remember too.
One quick second. Hold on. I have this enormous fucking book called Doctor Who: The Writer's Tale, The Final Chapter, which is literally, okay, how many pages is this? 693 pages of emails.
Oh wow!
Between Russell T Davies, who was showrunner back in 2005 when the show came back, and now currently again as the show's coming back for the 60th anniversary this November, and I don't know what his job officially is. I know he's written for Doctor Who magazine as kind of a journalist. I don't know if that's his full-time gig, but his name is Benjamin Cook. Anyway, so it documents, I believe it's starting with him writing that episode you're talking about, all the way through finishing that first run and passing the show off to Stephen Moffat afterwards. And it is so interesting. It is such an interesting look into both being a writer, but also being somebody who has that much like both power but also like responsibility, as Spider-Man might say, or somebody in Spider-Man or whatever, I don't know. Which like it's a lot to deal with running such a huge show that you both like love but also lots of other people love, and also that it makes a lot of money. And like I've heard different people say, or not different people, I don't remember where I heard this exactly, but somebody mentioned that the licensing and stuff for Doctor Who and all the merchandise is like makes billions. And so it's like to be in charge of something like that is that's intense. And then to also have to be an artist on it, like yeah, man, intense. No wonder there's so much in here. There's so much, like, yeah, I don't know. It's that's interesting. So if you're into that kind of thing, I recommend picking it up and reading it.
Yeah, I'll You'll have to send me the link of it so I can go read it. I love reading extra things about stuff. And like the Doctor Who books, I've seen them at like Half Price Books, and I've thought about picking them up because they're pretty looking books too.
Yeah,
like the hardcover ones, they're pretty.
The thing is with them is a lot of those, I mean, they're definitely written with the thought that like a child might be reading it, so they're not necessarily
so my
like
grade level. Perfect.
Right. Well, there's that. I mean, but also, yeah, it's like it makes it easier and a little quicker to read, so you can kind of get through them a little bit more, while still getting a fun adventure through space and time with a lovable idiot in a blue box.
Woo!
God, I love it so much. I'm so fucking excited for it to come back. Shooty Gatwa is gonna be great. Barbie. By the way, my review, loved it. I need to see it again to make sure I definitely like it or like that much. But from my first impression, I had a really good time watching it. And Shooty Gatwa, that's good. Doctor Who.
I haven't seen it yet, but I was told good things. I want to see that one in Oppenheimer. But yeah. So I live in Texas, and Texas. But Texas has been extremely hot forever now. And, I'm pissed off because people always say when you're in Texas, oh, you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. I've waited 3 months and it's still fucking hot.
Yeah, it's gonna. I've been watching Vlogbrothers, and so I feel a little bit smarter now because of how smart people like Hank Green are, and he makes me feel a little bit better about the future of the world, and he was like, it's gonna get real bad, people. It's gonna get real hot, and it's gonna keep getting hotter, and people are gonna die. But I think we're gonna work on it, and I think we're gonna fix it, and I think he's right. So I would say, Kitt, get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, you were saying that Michigan or wherever it is you live was nice, so.
Oh, I did actually happen to just take a week-long vacation in Michigan, and as it so happens, it was really lovely. We were in Marquette, and we almost made it up to what's the other place? Calumet, but we didn't quite make it because our car broke down, or not broke. It was overheating, and so we were just like, let's not risk it, and. God, okay,
yeah, that's what our cars do now. Only they're just sitting.
It's just from being outside. Note to self: don't drink fizzy drinks.
But I wasn't able to go see Barbie and Oppenheimer because of the heat. Because it's like it's so bad that it's like, man, I can go outside for the 5 minutes that it would take for me to walk to my car to the theater or to whatever, or I could stay inside and not deal with the heat. Because, I can wear a jacket inside my house because I spent lots of money on the air conditioning.
Right, there you go.
But, yeah, but actually, outside...
Speaking of air conditioning, what about, does the movie theater not have air conditioning?
Well, it does, but I have to go outside in order to get to the air conditioning.
I see
it's bad.
Yeah. No, I see. I do the exact same thing all winter long. I'm just like, nope. There is zero reason to leave the house. I am closing the doors and I'm never leaving. And oh my god, I'm not even. This winter I'm not even a student at all, so I literally don't have to leave at all. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, was I a student last winter? When did I graduate? I think it was last year. It's been maybe what? Where are we now?
What is this? Where are we?
It's August 11th. Good to know.
August 11th.
I literally
2023,
and I think I was done I was done last December. Yeah. Okay. I sorted myself out in time. Oh yeah. So anyway, let's see. According to my watch, it is currently 62 degrees here in the lovely state of Minnesota. It's been a little bit rainy today. I heard some thunder before we started. Very comfortable. It's been the weather, if anything, it's been cold.
It's 85 degrees at night.
Ooh. It's barely gotten to that during the day at peak sun,
Today it was only 104. There were clouds in the sky. So I was like, oh man, it's only 100. Oh, worst part too is my AC in my car broke.
Oh no.
And I've been like, oh, I don't need it. I'll put it off. This is also another rant that I can go on after this. But so I've been rolling down my windows, just blaring music and driving. And so long as I don't sit still, I'm not it's not terrible, but the wind is hitting me, and the wind is at least 90 degrees.
Oh,
so it's not
warm.
even good wind. So that's been terrible. I live only like 5 minutes away from my work, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. But it's not like you can bike or anything in the meantime. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, that would be the same problem.
Exactly. Exactly.
But it reminds me of whenever I was younger, my first car I ever had was a 69 VW Bug automatic stick shift.
Uh-huh.
And interesting thing about that car is that it was created because of sexism.
I see.
Because so it's an automatic stick shift, and what that means is that it was basically one of the first automatic cars, and so they put the clutch inside the stick. So whenever you change the gears, instead of pushing something on the pedal, which I'm doing and you can't see because you can't see my feet, but instead of doing that, it's actually in the stick, so you're kind of pushing down and moving it over.
Oh, weird.
And
okay.
They created that because they thought women weren't able to figure out the clutch.
Oh, no, see, no. It's not women, it's morons. Because I also have such a not such a hard time. I'm very uncoordinated. So whenever I try, have I ever told you because I'm stupid. Like I just said, I was making a decent amount of money, or like not even decent. It was just like okay money during COVID because I was in school and I was getting a bit of money from a stipend from that, and then I was also. The COVID unemployment, especially in Minnesota, was pretty good, and my hours were cut. So I was making like okay, and so I was saving up money and everything, and so of course also that meant I was blowing money. This microphone, the camera that I'm using, the mixer that I'm using. I mean, half the shit I'm actually basically everything I'm looking at right now. Yep, including actually, honestly, including this house that I'm in, all because of savings made during COVID. Another purchase that I made was a 1957 Ford Custom 300, and I can't drive it. It works, but I don't know how to drive manual.
Oh no!
And it works-ish. I think there are some issues with it, and luckily, Molly's dad is good with cars and stuff, so we've been slowly kind of working on that. He's been slowly working on that for the last couple of years since I got it. But yeah, that was not what I see it as right now. Is an investment, because once we get it all like sorted away, I'll sell it, and then I'll make some money back. And actually, quite frankly, I don't know if I should. I won't say this. I'm gonna cut this because I don't want to say it publicly. Because I shouldn't have. I should have just saved my fucking money. But whatever.
You're playing the long game.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. I should have saved my money, but that, especially considering that wasn't even the first used car that I bought. I currently own 3 fucking cars, and I can't drive 2 of them. Mm-hmm. I made the same dumb mistake twice, Kit.
Didn't learn from the first one.
No.
Also, it's kind of impressive you have 3 cars.
I mean, a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 2 cars, one that doesn't have AC. And that's me, and my wife also owns the car too. So it's not even like just me by myself.
Yeah, wow.
Her car is a nice newer car, but
oh yeah, see, mine are like the one that works is newish. It's from 2013, and
2000.
It's from 2013, and it sucks, and I hate it. It doesn't suck. It's totally fine. It's totally middle of the road, mediocre, and fine. But you know what? Yeah, it's like it drives consistently. If it just doesn't drive like well, it doesn't accelerate super well. But also, like, the brakes work better than Molly's car. The AC works, so like the Bluetooth works. It's kind of, the speakers aren't like the greatest or anything, but they're not that bad either. So it's like everything's fine.
So it's not really, but kinda the car.
Yeah, literally. Exactly. Yeah. Is it good? Not really, but kinda. Yeah, seriously. So I decided to call her Renee, because she's just kind of like an old used waitress who's but she's reliable, you know. She's not pretty, but like that's okay. She works.
I have an aunt named Renee. Well, actually, I'm married into a family, and there's a Renee in the family.
But did I describe her perfectly just now as an old used waitress?
Yeah.
As describing a person like I would describe a mop or a dirty rag.
I mean, she's a nice person. Not really, but kinda.
Listen, yeah, Renee being old and kind of disheveled.
Yeah.
And a little gross and kind of slow. Has nothing to. Is not a judge of character. She's a lovely person, and so is my car.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's car. Her name. I as if I haven't said her name a bunch. Molly's name is Molly.
What?
Molly's car. She decided to call that one Sugar, because she's just like an old slut. So
good stripper name. Sure.
Yeah.
My wife's car is named Isis.
Oh, well, that's
for the Egyptian goddess, not for the.
Not really, but kinda.
And then my car, which is a Kia, is named Kia because I don't name cars. and my wife's like, "Why don't you ever name the car?"
Now's your chance. Actually, this is a good quick. Let's do one last no, we're gonna do a couple more podcast topics on this one, even. But like one podcast topic I've had in my mind for a long time since I built my current computer. So now we're thinking, 2018, I think I built this. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I've been wanting to bring up a podcast topic, which is I have to name my computer. You can. It's right now. It's like desktop 2 VNs 3 CU 28, and I'm like, that's a terrible name for this thing. And then you need a name for your car. So it's name time, baby. But also, while we're also thinking of names, let's go ahead and just throw in the third naming thing, which is that we have to start. We're gonna start our own. Basically, this podcast, what we're doing right now, but it's just not gonna be. Not really, but kinda, because this show is so particular, and I don't want it to change too much from what it is, and so we'll just let it be the Haley's Comet. So in the meantime, I'll read you my what hit me all of a sudden like a vision or something, and I sent you along. It's basically what I'll probably also put in the description of this episode. We're discussing the comet that is not really but kinda only passing us by once in a blue moon, and how it is fading once again, but in its place will come something new, a garbage phoenix reborn in the burning trash heap that is GoBicker. So that gives you kind of an impression of what we're wanting to do.
Garbage phoenix, I think, is like my favorite image that I've ever thought of.
Yeah, well, that might be what we call it, which I also kind of don't like, because I feel like that's very much like what it makes me feel like a millennial, and I know you are. Yeah. You are, right?
I am a millennial.
Yeah. So, look at that normal phoenix. So yeah, imagine a phoenix like that Lego one, except wow, it fucking moved. Lego is so amazing. Imagine that, but it's made out of like garbage bags and cans and tissues and shit, maybe.
So I feel like that's probably more of the mascot would be the garbage phoenix.
Yeah, exactly.
But the name of the show needs to be something different, because I agree with you that doesn't have that feeling of podcast.
No, it does a little bit, but not ours.
Yeah.
It just sounds like something. It sounds more generic than I would like. And I would really like to do like call-ins and stuff. And like, I don't know what that means exactly, but.
Did you say pollens?
Call-ins?
Tollins.
Call.
Oh my god. Now I feel like an old guy again.
Yeah.
Did you say call-in, Shuddy?
What did you say? Say it louder.
Oh, those tall men, I do say. We need some more of them tall men.
Tallman's almonds? Is that it? No.
I got a pack of Tallman's almonds next to my Nutter Butters right over there.
Oh man, I love Nutter Butters. Oh, can I just go? So we have names to think about. That's just we have names. That's kind of the background of the background.
And if you have suggestions, please leave them in the comments, and then we'll read.
Because you haven't
comment.
We'll have to do this again, Kitt, in like 2 weeks, so we can get ready to do so I can edit it for September. And so what kind of car do you have?
I have a 2016 Kia Forte.
Is it red?
It's a black car.
Black. Okay, really throwing me off. I was imagining red this entire time.
Our old.
Oh wow, it's just
car
such
red.
a car ass looking car.
Yeah, it looks exactly like a car.
That's the issue with cars, is that they all are exactly the same and boring. And that's actually why I think it's a shame I can't drive manual, because I really like my classic car that looks cool, like a distinct, unique car.
Yeah, I miss my Bug that I used to have.
Oh, right, exactly. Yeah, see, another. I saw one driving when we were driving back and forth from in Michigan to and fro, and it was off to the side of the road for sale even, and I thought, man, if only I had more money to waste.
Come on, COVID part 2. Give me more money.
Yeah, let's hear for more COVID.
Yeah, I miss it. There's too many people outside now. It's bad.
Molly and I talked about it too. We were like, it was nice because we met during COVID, and so we were able to spend like things shut down. We started talking on a dating app, of all things, I think, a day or two after things closed down. And then we met up, I think a week or two later. The first day we hung out for we met up at like 1:30 in the afternoon or something. And I don't think I went home until 7 or something the next morning. So like not that night, the next morning. We just hung out and we just were like, no, this is good. Let's just do. And then it kind of just turned into this thing of like, you want to just do this forever? And it's just turned out, yeah, like we're just not going to stop hanging out. It's great. Don't know where I started with that. Oh, can I tell you? Oh, this actually does remind me though. I don't remember where I started with that, but it does remind me of something I did want to bring up, which is that I've been having this very distinct fear recently of not wanting to be like because I don't know what it means even, a wife guy. Like people describe people online as being wife guys, and I don't know exactly what it means, but I don't want to be that.
Yeah, I don't know what that means to even.
I remember people talking about it a lot when see, also Maya would be a good friend. This is why we have to do this show with everyone, because Maya would be the person to ask about this, because she talked.
What does wife guy mean?
This try guys. There was one of them who had some sort of a scandal, something, and he was. Yeah. They talked about how he was like a wife guy, but I think he was caught cheating, and so people always they were making fun of wife guys, and I was like, I don't want to be like that, because I think what it is just dopey guys who are obsessed with their wives, and though Molly and I aren't married, that's me, baby. Yeah. I'm like, I have a reputation for being like. Why? Who do you hear the fireworks? Hopefully not, because that's really fucking annoying.
Oh, is it that guy still?
No. Oh, I have another neighbor story. Oh my god, a different neighbor though.
Oh no.
Sorry, we're just jumping all over the place. This is why we need to have structure to our shows, by the way.
Okay. Before fireworks, wife guy.
I don't want to be a wife guy. I think that's all it is.
I want to be a trophy husband.
So there you go.
That's the dream. A trophy husband or a stay-at-home dad. That would be nice. Like for the dogs.
Yeah.
So that's my dream. Like, yeah. I think we should normalize that.
Oh yeah,
as a society.
That's the thing. That's when you talk about like tricking Republicans into believing leftist things by just presenting it in a way that makes sense.
Yeah.
I kind of think a similar thing about like misogyny, where I'm like, fellas, listen, why would you want to be in charge of everything? That's a lot of fucking work. Why not let the ladies be in charge?
Make the ladies do it.
Make them. Why don't you? That's right, fellas. Let's make these fucking bitches run the government.
Yeah, we've been doing it for too long. It's their turn now. Yeah, we've been carrying everything on our backs.
Do we really want to keep carrying civilization on our backs, restricting women everywhere? I think not. It's our turn to go home and make some cakes or whatever the fuck we want them to do.
Yeah. Hashtag men power.
Yeah. This is Menon. Do you remember what is it Menonism or a Menonist? Like people who are
Manonist.
I think it was
instead of a feminist, it's a
Manonist. Yeah, because they were like feminism anti-man because obviously they're children who are stupid and don't understand things. And so they're like, I'm a Mennonist.
I'm a Mennonite.
I think it's funny. I would like to publicly embarrass and I'm gonna should I name him? I want to talk about Molly's ex-boyfriend who's such a fucking dork. He was he was apparently a Trump supporter, which is that alone like oofta, right? And I'm pretty sure she said he was a Mennonist at one point in high school. Did I ever talk about all the fact that after they broke up and after me and her started dating, because it wasn't too horribly long in between those two events, because she moved on so quickly, like, he wrote a song about her, and he was all like, yeah. He wrote a song about her, and he name dropped me in that song, but obviously I have a hard name to name drop because Terry is so particular, so he had to use he said Terry Cloth because it's the only it's the only Terry that's not just like a name, I guess.
I had this girl, but he was taken by the Terror Bear stare. I'm assuming it's country. That's the only thing that makes sense.
No. It was this is another thing about this guy. He's like a dorky man bun wearing like John Mayer wannabe. He plays ukulele and guitar and so it's like a folky singer-songwriter-y kind of thing.
Okay, I don't have my ukulele with me.
Yeah. And I think the line was something about like covering something up with a terry cloth. So embarrassing.
Oh my!
But
I'm embarrassed for him.
We were young. That was a couple years ago now. We didn't run into him. We saw him once. We went to a play and we saw him sitting a few rows ahead. And I don't, as far as we know, he didn't see us, but we did see him. And he seemed to be with somebody else. So he's also moved on now. So now we gotta write our song.
Good for that Trumpist.
I guess. I don't think he'll ever be happy, but that's because that's how those kinds of people are. Because the world is a scary place because they like to make it scary.
Yep.
They like to say that all the bad people are out to get you.
They're there to take our jobs.
Yeah, like I think if I remember right too, I guess I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but I feel like I remember some of Molly and his arguments being things like their views on women and what they should be allowed to do, and it's like, what do you mean what they should be allowed to do?
They should be allowed to do anything that humans are allowed to do.
Yeah, like what people do. Also, this is funny. I don't know if I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't want to call specific people though. So maybe I'll just say somebody. It was Molly's mom was talking about how she's like, it's funny that she said this because she's very much like a lefty, like pro-woman person, but she's like, women can be abusers too. And Molly and her are like, wow, really? She's like, yeah, I've seen some things. Some women are actually just as mean as some men. And I'm like, But I mean, yeah, the point is basically like, yeah, it's almost like gender is a social construct, and some people are just really shitty and abusive. Mm-hmm. It doesn't.
It's like almost like the shittiness. It's not gender specific.
It's almost like maybe we shouldn't judge everything by those really what's the word I'm looking for?
Superficial things?
Superficial standards. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
Just how he said that. I just imagine this like older lady just being like, "Hey, did you know?"
No.
Women can also don't tell anybody. Don't keep it. Keep it
word
low.
on the street.
These women be hitting everybody.
Big women wouldn't want you to know this, but like big pharma works or whatever, you know, big tech, big women doesn't it doesn't quite have the same exact quite like ring to it or whatever.
The funny thing is most abusers are big women.
I don't know.
That's not true. By the way, don't. I don't think. That's totally. That's not a thing.
In case you're somebody who gets your facts from the worst podcast on the internet, not really,
but kinda.
That's not a true fact. But some of the other things I've said are, I think. Hopefully. I don't know what things I've said. That's why the next show, whatever we end up calling that, will have more structure to it. That's why it'll have segments that will that's the thing. So you're the perfect person to do this with because you'll actually do it. Where we have some sort of write something ahead of time, make some sort of slideshow imagery, make a video or that we can show something, you know, like that kind of thing. Something that something that we could add timestamps to in the script in the description so that people listening or watching can skip around. Oh, also the idea that I had, which is that if we do make pre-recorded videos, those videos can be uploaded individually as well as the talky bits in between being cut up into shorts and other videos on top of that. So we can just have content on content on content, which is kind of gross because I don't want to talk about content. But also that is also at the same time how I'm viewing this right now is kind of just like stuff you could just make. You just make it as content. You just throw it out. Because I like the stuff that I'm really like considering is not content. It's what I'm making content about.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, your neighbor.
My neighbor. So I have the neighbors across the street who are blowing shit up. Actually, quite frankly, it's been a minute. They haven't blown shit up in a while. I think screaming at them that last time worked. So we went away to... We've gone on a lot of vacations this summer. So a few weeks ago, we were out for a week at Molly's cabin. And if you've seen my YouTube videos, I've frequently featured a tree in our backyard. Or technically in our neighbor's backyard. But it's very prominent, big over... It would be just behind me to my... right there. If you go back, it's featured frequently in my YouTube videos. They decided randomly while we were gone, probably just coincidence that we were gone, but that they were going to chop that tree down without telling us at all. They didn't give us any sort of a note on our door. They never knocked or came over as far as we've ever known. They made no effort to tell us that they were doing this. So that, which is annoying because like this tree does affect our property. Like our lawn now is drier and more dead because, you know, even though it's been kind of cooler and it's raining today, we've also still just been kind of in a drought overall. So our lawn is dying now because it's getting a lot more direct sunlight. But also while they're chopping this fucking tree down, our car, we only took one car up, and I have a car and Molly has a car. Her car was still here, and so it was under that fucking tree, and so they were just fucking raining wood chips and shit down on it. Luckily, it doesn't appear they scratched it at all or anything. But I mean, easily fucking could have dropped a branch on it or something, you know.
Yeah.
But they didn't give us a chance to move the fucking car, right? Also, they decided to go into our backyard, and our roommate, he has his dog who we normally just let out into our normally closed in fenced yard, except for these fucking guys went into our yard, were moving some shit around for some reason without ever consulting or telling us at all, and then left our fucking gate open. So again, luckily our roommate just happened to peek out and notice the gate was closed, and luckily the dog has good enough recall where he didn't just go fucking running out that back gate. But I know a couple other dogs who would not have listened, who definitely would have gotten away, and who definitely have a tendency to run towards roads and they're little enough where they would have, you know, run the risk of things like getting hit by cars. Luckily, not an issue at our place, but you just don't fucking know that, so you have to communicate with people when you're doing major shit like chopping trees down. And so either way, now this fucking tree's gone, which now we're like, all right, well, fuck this house, I don't even want it anymore. So now we're trying to now we're in the early stages of, you know, like saving money and everything, because we're gonna sell the house, because
All your neighbors are terrible.
The neighbors are horrible. It's so if you can stomach. Let's think. Maybe I have a short temper. Maybe I have a short temper. I don't know. So maybe if you're somebody with a better temperament and you want to live near the Lincoln Park Craft District, which maybe I shouldn't dox myself like that, but either way, it's a broad enough area. Maybe that's what you'd want. Maybe you'd want this place. Also another thing, actually, a public service announcement I should make that I won't dox me, but I also don't know if anyone relevant would ever hear this, but I'll tell the story anyway. So Molly has 2 jobs. One of them is at a cafe, the other one is at a marina. At this marina, there were some people out doing whatever you do at a marina, walking around doing boats or whatever. And they saw this chihuahua walking around and bipping back and forth, and apparently, seemingly with nobody, just kind of on its own. Though, I'll note, wearing a collar. A little while later, they saw it in the water, and somehow ended up in the water, fallen off, jumped off the dock, who knows, but it was in the water drowning. And so they reached up and they grabbed it, or they went in and grabbed it, got it out or whatever, and they brought it to Molly, who was at the front desk or whatever, and they're like, dog. And she's like, dog. And so she walked around the neighborhood that's near there, kind of seeing if maybe there's somebody out looking for a dog. She looked around the marina to see if again, any of the people who were there, is anybody looking for or missing a dog? No, nobody. This dog just came from nowhere and just is there now. And this was on a Saturday at this at 4:30 or 5. So as everything's closing, although if there's a vet open at all or anything on the weekend, they're closing about now, and then nothing's open on Sunday. So we're now all of a sudden it's Saturday night and we have this fucking chihuahua, who fortunately is just an absolute little sweetheart. The only chihuahua in existence, as far as I'm aware, who's an absolute sweetheart. But thank God we got him, because again, did I mention that I have a bad temper and I hate being annoyed? Not that I wouldn't have done anything, but I would have just would have been in general more upset and angry, which would have just meant more swearing at things, I guess. Anyway, I don't know why I felt the need to prerequisite all that. I'll show you a picture, so anyone watching can see.
That looks like a chihuahua.
Yeah, right.
Somebody just had random chihuahua just leave. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, there's just random chihuahua that so then so you do what you'd normally do then. So nothing's open on the weekends, but hey, internet's open all the time, baby. You can go on Facebook whenever you want. That's the beauty of it. And so she posted him. Actually, that picture I just showed you, she posted that on these different lost pet Facebook sites, Lost Pets of Minnesota or whatever. And you think that's a very he's kind of a unique looking chihuahua. His eyes are kind of weirdly far apart. He's got a bulbous forehead. And also, if he's your dog, you're looking for him, right? But
yeah.
It's now been nearly a week and we've heard nothing. I'm jumping here while I'm editing to say that it's been closer to a month now, because I'm taking a long time to edit this, and still nobody has come forward for this chihuahua. So as far as we're concerned, sucks to suck if you were the negligent previous owner. He's got a loving home now, so
jeez,
not a peep.
I would think, especially if you were walking with the dog and then the dog disappeared and you just I guess it's dead. Cool, I'll go home now.
So he had the collar. He seems to be, he's kind of weird and skittish, but it doesn't seem like, I don't know, it just seems like a weird chihuahua thing. So nothing seems wrong with him or anything. So it's there's been theories that he was from a hoarder house or something, but I feel why would he have a collar if he was just randomly just from a hoarder house? And he seems kind of young, but we're not sure yet. And also because all the vets are all booked out to shit because there's 4 people, because nobody has any money and the economy's a shit and blah 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 blah.
America.
So now we're kind of oh shit, do we have a chihuahua now? And I guess for the time being, yes, His name is Monchichi.
It's Monchichi.
Named after the Japanese little toy Monchichi.
Monchichi.
Which, if you look him up, looks a lot like our little Chihuahua. And so anyway, yeah, that's yeah.
Well, congratulations on your dog, I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah, Monchichi.
Actually, Monchichi is a lovely little guy. We call him Mon ami, and we call him Chichi. we call him all sorts of stuff. Yeah, seriously, a super lovely dog. And so if we do have to keep him, that's okay. That's fine with me. What about Brenda? You like Brenda for Kia?
Brenda.
Yeah, you like driving Brenda around.
I've never met a Brenda, but
No,
that's almost like Bertha. Look at my little truck right here, Big Bertha.
No, Brenda's not Bertha. Bertha's, but I mean, because Bertha's with Bertha, you know. Yeah, I understand what you're saying about Bertha.
Brenda feels like Bertha adjacent.
I think just because they both start with the letter B does not mean they're both adjacent. But if you're not into it, you're not into it, and that's fine.
Sorry for any Brendas out there.
Yeah, sorry for Brendas, you big fat cows.
So while you're thinking of other names, I discovered that I dislike nostalgia. Nostalgia?
Interesting.
Nostalgia, I think, is the worst thing to judge anything by. Because you're like, oh, this is nostalgic, therefore I like it. That is not a good way to judge anything. And my car not having AC is a great way of me illustrating this, because objectively having AC in 105-degree weather is better than not having AC in 105-degree weather. But my brain goes, oh, this reminds me of whenever I had a 69 VW Bug, and that didn't have AC in it because they didn't have that technology back then. And so my brain is like, oh, this reminds me of back then. This reminds me of my old car. This is awesome. I like this because I can just crank music up and listen to it. But that's wrong. That is totally wrong. AC is better
because I'm still hot.
But my brain is switching that around, being like, oh no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Nostalgia is making it all great. So judging like old movies and stuff, you're like, oh man, I used to love this movie, and then you watch it again, you're like, oh, this movie is still great, and like, no, It was probably crap.
No,
and nostalgia telling you it's good.
I'll prove you wrong. I'll prove you wrong right now. I recently watched both Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, both critically panned at the time, both movies that I adored as a child. And you know what? You know what? Fantastic films.
Stop proving me wrong.
I had a great time, and you know, actually, and
that's nostalgia talking.
Let me tell you my hypothesis, and this is I'm serious about this. This is my hypothesis why I think they were good. I think they're good now when they weren't. I think they were not good in 2000 or 9. Well, they're both in the 90s, which I thought it was weird. I thought Batman and Robin was in like 2002. Anyway, in the late 90s, mid to late 90s or whatever, when those movies came out, not good. Not because it's not what people wanted, and that's proven furthermore by the fact that the Christopher Nolan Batmans were the ones that came after all those. They're good now though, because we live in a post-COVID world. We live in a world that's burning and flooding, and that sometimes it's just fun to see Mr. Freeze just turn people into fucking ice cubes and watch Poison Ivy kill his wife and see fucking Jim Carrey in a leotard and pink hair and just Tommy Lee Jones and purple face paint and all. It's great. They're so much fun, and they're simple and they're light, but there's like things that you're looking at. You're looking at sets and art direction and the touch of human beings, even if those human beings are the most homosexual people who've ever lived, like like Joel Schumacher.
Doesn't prove me wrong.
Yes,
that movie is so bad.
No, except
and then you have a lens of nostalgia on top of it that you're like, oh, that reminds me of the good old days whenever life was good, and I can make fun of this for being crap. But now I have to look at it and appreciate the set design on it instead of being like, no, it's still a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie. It's a lot of fun. It's just that people who don't like fun don't like it. That's always, I have a really nasty habit of anytime people say something I disagree with, especially when it relates to movies, I'm just like, well, you hate fun. It's like, well, of course I'm right.
The only reason why it's fun.
I think
it's because it's bad. That's why you like it.
I think adding the nostalgia to something, kind of giving it a new life. It's like you're still feeling better about whatever situation, right? You're still feeling better about the fact that you don't have AC because you're remembering a better time. You're feeling better about watching Batman and Robin because it is a good movie, but also because you have fond memories of watching it as a young child. Oh, can I tell you a really weird, distinct memory I had watching Batman and Robin?
Of course, yeah.
So I have a very distinct memory of being in my living room, not my living room, I guess my parents' living room as a young child. I'm guesstimating 3 years old, wearing, as 3-year-olds often do, little to no clothing. I think I was wearing just my underwear. I remember creating a pillow for it. And so, do you remember the bit in Batman and Robin when they're fighting Catwoman and Bane in the back of that, like, I think it's like a bakery or something, and Batman ends up throwing Robin into that pit of goo?
Oh yeah.
I remember that part. So that part was on, and I remember being in my little underwear and shitting in my underwear. I have a story that I like to preface. It's not nearly as exciting once I tell it, but I always like to say, did I ever tell you about the time I shit so bad my grandma had to call the National Guard?
Well, holy shit.
See, it sounds like, whoa, that's quite a story, but it's not. See, it's a really big, like, intro and just a shitty, like, it's just that I clogged the toilet, and my grandma had to call my dad, who was in the National Guard, and he was at work at the time, and so she had to call him and be like, hey, your son, he shit and he flooded my bathroom a little bit because he doesn't know how to wipe a couple times and then flush and then wipe a couple times and then flush. He's just like wipe and 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 then flush, and then wonder why it's not all going down.
Just use the entire toilet paper roll and then shove it down there.
I might as well have. And then I was like, okay, I know it didn't go all down, or I know it didn't all go down last time, but if I flush it one more time, it might. And then no, of course not. It just keeps coming up, and there's more water. Then I'm like, oh shit. Okay, well.
One more time. That will. I think the only real shit story that I have was one time I was driving to, I think, Oklahoma. Or I wasn't driving. I was a kid. So I was a kid, like, in the back with one of my friends. And my mom or her friend was driving to Oklahoma. And I remember, like, specifically, like, during that trip, that I shit my pants. And, like, I 100% remember it. And then I remember taking a nap. And next thing I know is I wake up and we're, like, playing with fireworks and stuff because it was out in the boonies. And there's no shit anywhere on me. But I got out of the car and I like checked myself. I was like, oh, there's no shit. But I specifically remember doing it. So I guess I fell asleep, or because I took a nap at some point. And so maybe it was a dream, or my mom was like, oh, what the fuck? And just cleaned me and then threw me back in the car or something. I've never had the courage to ask my mom about this.
Hey, you're gonna text her right now.
Did I ever shit?
And if we don't hear a response in the next literally like 5-10 minutes when as we're wrapping up this episode, then that just entices you hopefully to come see whatever Kitt and I end up doing next. Because I want to. That's where I want to hear about this next. Did I shit myself on that car ride in Oklahoma? That's so funny.
I don't even know if she would remember. I would think so.
I would remember cleaning up shit off my unconscious child. My dad tells me or he's told me plenty of times about times me or my sisters would, as babies, shitting up our backs, like that's like just blowing shit out our asses. God, aren't you gonna miss this show?
It's the shittiest show on the internet. Not really, but kinda.
Shittiest show ever made. Not really, but kinda. How about Randy with an I?
Randy with an I?
Yeah.
I don't hate that one.
Yeah?
Because it's like, oh man, my car's being Randy again. Just
that's just
trying
Randy.
not to do AC. Yeah.
Oh, Randy.
Oh yeah, sometimes my key doesn't work, and I just I have to turn it upside down.
Randy.
And so I'm like, Randy, damn it, damn it. I think Randy's the name.
There we go. All right.
Huh. Anybody who commented Randy, you won.
Yeah, for the lucky commenter, Randy, you won
with an I.
You won a Barnes and Noble gift card. It's expired, but you won it.
We're also not gonna send it to you. We'll just.
I don't know how to get it to you because
yeah,
I don't know how to read, which is also why the Barnes and Noble card is expired. Because I never thought to use it because I was like, well, it doesn't seem really relevant.
They have games there and stuff, like board games.
They do have movies. You know, actually, that was my first exposure to Doctor Who, kind of bookending this podcast nicely. I remember they had the big display, or not a big display necessarily, but they had a lot of classic Doctor Who DVDs. Which, I mean, thinking now about how many classic Doctor Who DVDs they had and how I feel like kind of rare they are now, feels like a missed opportunity to buy some shit. But at that point in my life, I didn't actually know what Doctor Who was, and for some reason in my head, I had mixed it up with the Dana Carvey movie Masters of Disguise. If you're familiar with that, where he goes like turtle.
Turtle.
Yeah, that's what I thought Doctor Who was.
My wife says that all the time. I'm not too turtly enough for the Turtle Club.
That's good. I'm glad you. It's a really weird. Molly and I are constantly referencing the Cat in the Hat, the Mike Myers one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The thing that we've been doing lately is wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Because we saw a movie. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Owen Wilson.
Thank you. We saw like the horror movie that he was in, and like every other word he said was wow. Like, oh, there's this ghost. Wow.
Was it that haunted house one from like the early 2000s? Mm-hmm. The one that like the Hill House one.
Yeah. Yep. That was it.
Yeah. That's one of Molly's favorite movies. Wow,
it is so bad, but it's fun.
I think if I think we went on like a couples double date. I think we'd have a lovely time. It sounds like we'd all have very similar interests and everything. What a funny thing to discover.
Yeah. Huh. So I did actually get an answer for the end of the podcast.
Oh wow, let's hear it.
Yeah. So I wrote, very odd question. Did I ever poop myself when we were on a car trip going to Oklahoma? My mom answered back, where the fuck do you come up with these questions? And then she goes, it's possible. I don't remember you doing that.
What's wrong with you? Stop texting me.
Yes. Well, I think I asked her a question before. There was a random question, and I don't even remember what it was, but it was something like my wife had something, and I was like, "Hey, that's not a normal thing." And she's like, "What? No, it is." And then I was like, "Hey, Mom, did this ever happen to me?" And she was like, "No. Why would you ask that? That's not normal."
I just noticed how long we've been recording and also what time it is in time.
Shit. Yeah.
So I think it's time to wrap up this little adventure.
Yeah.
This is not the end of season 3. This is just know that probably don't expect it, not really, but kinda next month.
So,
but you can expect more from GoBicker
because I'm in Texas.
I didn't realize what you were doing. I thought you just handing your beer then.
I think I
didn't
drank
realize.
this
Anyway,
in the first episode. I wasn't gonna drink it.
Yeah, GoBicker's not going anywhere. Kitt and I will discuss
but
between us what we're doing next time, but you can expect more segmented, more streamlined, more well, God, I feel like what I keep saying, which is just that.
Which is weird because
we're gonna
Texas doesn't have any natural springs.
More structured.
Ozarka doesn't have. It's a man-made
I don't know if it's ever gonna happen. But I'd like to try because I have a couple ideas for segments and stuff. And and I actually.
Oh, are we still doing the outro?
I thought we were done by now. To do.
Oh, I also had some coffee.
A segment. It would be like, no way.
Ear can thing.
Maya, no time. Kitt, he'll actually do it. And it's funny that I'm giving him a compliment while he's doing all this. But he's actually one of these people who's reliable, which is it's appreciated. So that's why me and him are starting something separate. Also, we're going to talk about the RSS feed because that costs money, and
You were merely born in the podcast. I adopted it. Or whatever.
Well, so when this comes back, whenever that is, it'll be the 4 of us. It only will come back whenever it's the 4 of us. So that'll be a special day. Oh, I'm looking forward to whenever that is because I do love the show very much.
That was like coffee grounds.
Remember, you can listen to the show.
No, that was bad.
On anywhere you listen to podcasts, as well as the other GoBicker produced podcast, the Rousseau's podcast, which recently featured singer,
Ozarka, natural spring
songwriter, Broadway composer,
the coffee grounds,
disability advocate, Galen Lee. She was a 2016 winner of the NPR Tiny Desk Award. Recently composed Macbeth on Broadway, and now is a friend of mine because she was on
Macbeth. Is nice.
Yeah, with Daniel Craig. She scored
Craig too. What?
Daniel Craig's Macbeth on Broadway, scored by Galen Lee, friend of GoBicker now, because I met her on the Rousseau's podcast, which you can listen to anywhere you listen to podcasts.
You just cursed us though. You said the Scottish play name,
but not in a play.
Yeah, but
we're not in a theater. Does it count?
Yeah. Depends on who you ask.
Am I gonna die?
I said it too, so I guess we're gonna die together. Just whenever you decide that you wanted to live.
Yeah, right.
You had to say the name.
Oh, hey, that's actually something to mention real quick. Yeah, this is kind of a weird thing, but like literally, the August is the month I'll be turning 25. 25 is the year that 10 years ago I said, listen. If shit isn't going good by 25, I'm out. Except here we are, 25, and it's going good. So even if I still wanted to, I wouldn't, because that would be against that rule. So and I don't. So it works out. And I just think, well, that's nice. It's nice when things work out.
So was that the show? Did we do
it? Yep. I think so.
Yeah.
I frequently end podcasts with when I have to pee, and I have to pee right now, so.
I guess that's perfect.
All right, until next year.